two of the things that were very important in my developer journey when I career shifted, when I finally decided to get into tech, and I found them very early, was that I was willing to explore and experiment. I was always curious about things that I could do. Is this possible? How do you do this? Do you just do this? I do a quick Google search, and there are a bountiful resources on the internet that are free. And experimentation also came in handy. I was not afraid to make mistakes as long as they were free. It didn't really cost us anything. I just open up a Google Sheets. I'd copy paste something wrong. Nothing would be deleted. So I think those two things are very, very important, especially to people who are shifting into tech. You need to be very curious about things, because tech is so broad, and there are so many things that you can learn just by being curious, just by exploring, just by experimenting. Okay, so fast forward, after doing some Google Sheet automations using AppScript and JavaScript, after doing some sort of automation with Python as well, some offline automations, I proceeded to study web development. And I did that for around 2 years because I did not want to keep using Excel as a database, or Google Sheets as a database for that matter. I really wanted to build a full-fledged web app. And so I studied online, and then when I was ready, I told myself, okay, I think I'm ready. I want to get into tech. I'll get a job as a software developer. I enrolled myself in a bootcamp. I wanted to formalize my education. And honestly, it was a really good decision, because number one, the bootcamp that I attended, with Zuitt, the instructors were really, really helpful. And that's what I went into a bootcamp for. When I was self-learning online, I didn't really have someone who I could ask questions about, does this work? What do you advise, etc., etc. And the instructors do it, in my experience, they're always more than happy to help you, and they really care about the students. They even contact us outside of teaching hours to check up on us, see if our code is right, if our app is working. And the next thing about boot camps is that they're scheduled, so you really have to commit, which is a good thing really for me, because if you self-learn online, there may be days where you're not really feeling like you want to code. But if you're in a boot camp, you're gonna miss some stuff, so you're really forced to do and attend and learn and do the things that you need to do in the boot camp, even if you don't really feel like it. So it's a sort of a discipline and motivation thing. And next is that it was really structured. So from beginning to end, there was a structure, there was a curriculum that really helped us learn from zero to hero, and they were built upon each other, so that in the end, we were able to create a capstone ourselves. We were able to say and show to people, potential employers, that, hey, I built a full-fledged web app, and I wrote everything from start to finish. I know how everything works because I actually made it. And we did a lot of exercises, and after the exercises, there's something new to learn. Eventually, at the end, there are 3 capstones, and each capstone helps us to be a better web developer and have a final end product. What I'm leading into now is that one of the things that helped me in my career, in my shifting journey into tech, I wanted to become a web developer, is that you shouldn't be afraid to be the least knowledgeable person in the room, and you should always ask questions, because I feel like a lot of people are very shy. They don't want to approach people who they don't know, or they are intimidated when they're in a room with people who talk about things that they don't know about. But I say take it as an opportunity for learning, because they know more than you. And I feel like we shouldn't perceive that as a threat, but as an opportunity to learn. Because what I've learned is people who are very, very good at their craft will be more than happy to assist people who ask them, who have a few questions, who ask them to assist them. Yeah, usually, even if you're just acquaintances, you just met them like 5 minutes ago, you ask them a small, simple question. You don't have to ask them to do an app for you. You can ask them, tips, opinions, what their advice is. And I assure you, they would be more than willing to answer you or to help you out. And all it takes is you admitting to yourself that you don't know. You ask them. I'm sorry. You go to person A and tell them, hi, I'm sorry, I'm not really knowledgeable about this, but I feel like, or I heard that you're really good at this. Can you answer a few of my questions? Like 80-90% of the time, they're gonna sit down with you and talk to you about your questions, because you have to remember that it costs you nothing to ask them. It costs you nothing to introduce yourself to them. The least that can happen is they don't know or they don't answer you, and that costs you nothing. But the potential gain, the potential gain for you is so much. There's so much value in just approaching someone, introducing yourself, asking them about their work, and asking them how they got there, what you can do to be able to get to where they are. So never be afraid to ask questions. Never be afraid to go to like conventions or meetups that you know nothing about, because that's the reason why you're there. You're there to learn.